Welcome to the exciting and new podcast. I'm Jason.
I'm Andy.
Ooh.
And I'm
Can we do
Brian.
that again? I'm Andy.
And I'm Brian.
When it's time to change.
Puberty's hitting. Late stage puberty.
We're
Maybe
here.
it's 16 years after you're born and then 16 years before you die. Maybe that's what. Oh,
Here we are in the exciting and new studios. We're going to talk about a movie that was released October 21st, 1983. So almost 40 years old, but this is called All the Right Moves. Rated R, hour and 31 minutes. Directed by Michael Chapman. Passed away in 2020, age 84, congestive heart failure. His top four, he's a cinematographer's top four is pretty damn good.
Oh, so he's not a director by trade? Like, is this?
He directed some stuff, but he did a lot of director of photography stuff. But his top four was all cinematography, and the top four was really good. I thought Raging Bull, The Fugitive, Taxi Driver, and The Last Detail.
Nice.
Some of the things that he was the director of photography for: Taxi Driver, The Last Waltz, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Raging Bull, Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid, The Man with Two Brains, The Lost Boys, Scrooged, Ghostbusters 2, Kindergarten Cop, Doc Hollywood, The Fugitive, Space Jam, the original.
Damn, dude. Guy had a
So I thought that guy had
career.
quite a career.
Yeah.
You know?
I saw a lot of those movies.
And for a guy that I've never heard of.
Yeah,
you know, and
I didn't know his
I wonder
name
how he
either.
got this gig. Like, they're like, hey, you want to step up and direct this movie? Because this is not based on anything, right? This had to have been written by somebody.
Oh, this movie, let me tell you.
Oh,
It's Stefan or Steph Djordjevic. He's a Serbian-American high school defensive back who is gifted in sports and is a B student academically.
He did say that, didn't he?
He's seeking a college football scholarship to escape the economically depressed small western Pennsylvania town of Ampipe and a dead-end job in life working at the mill, just like his grandfather, father, and his brother Greg. He dreams of becoming an electrical engineer right after he graduates from college. Ampipe is a company town whose economy is dominated by the town's main employer, American Pipe and Steel, a steel mill struggling through the downturn of the early 1980s recession. Steph gets through his days with the love of his girlfriend, Lisa Litsky, and his strong bond with his teammates.
Interesting.
That was the Wikipedia description.
That
I took
was
that.
good. That was
from-
long.
I thought that was pretty good.
that was
It's funny
really
that they have
long.
to throw in Serbian American. Like, did that ever come up? Him
I don't
being
think it
Serbian
came up
at all?
once. I don't remember.
I mean, there were other ethnicities
I thought it was
that we.
I thought it was an
brought up,
interesting
but
last name to use, but yeah.
It had that Django thing to it, a silent D at the beginning. That spells it out right there. Did America have some kind of love affair with factory settings in the late 70s, early 80s? Because like Deer Hunter, they were like working in the factory.
Like, I think that's a
Flashdance,
Small town America.
Good background for a movie. You know, you got like the town, just a rough town.
It's
you know,
always a got to get out of here kind of movie. You know,
Yeah.
it's economically depressed town,
and then you always see like part of you in there somewhere. You know what I mean? It's like, oh,
as a
that's
kid,
who
you're
you are,
like,
you
I
know,
want to get out of here. I want to be that guy.
Yep.
I was never a B student though, or a good athlete, so that's why I'm still in New Jersey.
I never got out of North Hanover.
That's true.
That's why-
You're still in the
So,
town.
like people were watching this and like getting like aspirations. I was like watching the Toxic Avenger. And I'm saying like, oh, I was more like Marvin. Let's talk about this cast. Tom Cruise played Stefan Djordjevic. We talked about Tom Cruise. We hit his top four already. It hasn't changed. Top Gun, Last Samurai, Jerry Maguire, and guess which Mission Impossible got in there? Which one was it?
2.
That
Oh,
is
that's right.
correct.
I remember talking about the worst one got in there.
That is
yeah.
correct. Yes.
Yeah. We talked about him during Outsiders, right? Outsiders, yeah.
I was saying to you earlier, I think this was off the podcast, that this could be one of my favorite Tom Cruise movies. I think I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan, but I liked his role in this. I thought he was good, like that smart aleck kind of.
Man,
tough
Tom
kid.
Cruise is like one of my all-time favorites, man. I love all the Mission Impossible movies, Minority Report, Day After
I don't
Tomorrow.
hate him. I just
know,
don't
but
have
like,
I like
I'm just
that.
saying,
You
like,
know what I mean? It's weird.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow. What's Day After
That's my
Tomorrow?
favorite
What's Day,
Tom.
oh, Day
That's,
After Tomorrow is a
that's the
disaster,
disaster
right?
movie, yeah.
yeah.
That's a good movie, though.
Dennis
I liked
Quaid.
it,
Dennis
yeah.
Quaid. Yeah, but no,
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Edge of Tomorrow, is that the
Yeah.
one? Yeah, that's so good.
That's
and,
my favorite one.
Is that the one where he keeps dying?
Yeah, with
Yeah.
Emily Blunt. Yeah,
That was a
it's
good
such
movie. I like that movie.
But I mean, he's done great movies. Listen, his personal life aside, I don't give a shit about his personal life.
Yeah, I was trying to figure it out. I
really
should have looked that up. I was curious when he joined Scientology, and like, are we too old? Or
I don't think he's. Are we too old to join now? And well, I don't think every Scientologist becomes like successful.
What's everybody saying now? Where's David Miscavige? Like he's missing now.
I was almost recruited.
And then they realized
college.
You were like, what? They're like, we don't want this guy.
Like who came around? Like was it
A cab driver. I was going from the airport to school, and a cab driver was telling me all about it.
So you were where at?
This was Rochester to Geneseo.
Okay, that's interesting.
I was approached by Scientologists when I was sitting on my stoop in Heightstown when I was living there, smoking a cigarette in my underwear, drinking coffee at like 8 o'clock in the morning. I was actually just sitting there smoking a cigarette. And they turned to the corner and they looked at me and I'm like, how you doing? And they just kept right on moving to the next door. I was like, yeah, that's right. I am unrecruitable. But
I've never been recruited by them, but I've had like Jehovah's Witnesses come to the door and everything like that. But you still see that. But I don't think you see Scientology walking around like that.
Yeah, I don't know if that's part of their curriculum, like it is Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons.
Yeah.
Mormons have to. I think it's like part of their.
That's part of their thing. Yeah.
So Tom Cruise, yeah, I love him. Like and you know what's weird about Tom Cruise? I remember always hearing stories about how his teeth were all messed up, and I think in The Outsiders we were even saying like how his teeth looked fine in this.
You know what it is?
Like,
he has one tooth that's centered, and that's what it throws his teeth off. That's what I read. Because I was looking at,
he was smiling a couple of times, and I was like, pause, looking. I'm like, man, his teeth look really good. Like, why does everybody always make fun of Tom Cruise's mouth? Stop making fun of my Tom.
Playing Coach Vern Nickerson, Craig T. Nelson.
Love Craig T. Nelson.
Is he the Vern that Ernest P. Worrell was always talking about?
Hey, Vern.
Now, we've talked about Craig T. Nelson because we did Poltergeist.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, great.
So
was that his top four?
I'll roll over his top four real quick. Coach, The Incredibles, Poltergeist, and The Family Stone.
That's pretty good.
Two TV shows, right?
That's The Incredibles is awesome.
Coach,
he was
and
great.
The Family Stone was a TV show, right?
Yeah, I think Family Stone was.
I've never seen that.
I don't know.
I didn't know what that one was.
Maybe it's a movie.
And I didn't really watch Coach. Like I would catch it once in a while, but it wasn't like I couldn't even tell you who any of the characters were.
Dauber.
I was just gonna say I remember Dauber.
Yeah, was that the big
Jerry
big blonde guy?
And he's
Van
on.
Dyke.
He's
Patrick.
Yeah, I think I was trying to say it.
The big blonde guy.
Yeah, coming out. Yeah,
he's also Moon. That spells Tom Cullen in The Stand, the original Stand, the 1993.
Dick Van Dyke's brother was
Jerry Van Dyke, right?
He's dead.
I was gonna say, is he still alive?
Jerry Van Dyke passed.
Dick Van Dyke's still alive.
He was just in an accident recently.
Who's letting him drive?
He's still driving.
Is Harrison Ford's plane instructor letting Dick Van Dyke drive? What are we doing?
Playing Lisa Litsky, Leah Thompson. This is our first Leah Thompson movie, right?
I was insanely impressed by Leah Thompson. She looked like a young Emma Watson.
She was very good.
When Michelle was asking me, because I was grilling her on Tom Cruise, I'm like, Tom Cruise do it for you? Like when he took his shirt off there, I'm like, is this like?
Well, she did get to see his ass.
Well, at the beginning, when he comes out of bed, he like he's
at least
shirtless.
My version had the ass. Did you get the ass?
Yeah. But I was like, Tom Cruise do it for you? She's like, he's cute. She's like, he's no Rob Lowe, but she's like, he's in the conversation at that time. I'm like, okay, cool. She's like, what about you? She's like, we never like go. Who's your girl from this era? I'm like, it might be Leah Thompson. She is so hot.
I have a question for you that I put together. It was a Leah Thompson or Phoebe Cates.
Oh, jeez. All right, I'm in. Let's do it.
Just overall.
Oh! I thought you were doing a quiz of like who did what. Oh,
Leah Thompson's body in that.
I think Phoebe Cates is actually more attractive. Like she's
got the tan.
I give Phoebe the slight edge, but Leah's up there. Yeah.
I was really impressed with.
But like I would pick Leah this era over Leah a couple years later in
Back to the Future.
Yeah, she still looks great, but I like her in this one version.
She had those mom jeans on and stuff, and Back to the Future.
She was a mom.
But when she has that nice little part where she says,
"Oh yeah,"
and I figured he would come right in.
A bunch of asshole jocks who can't even spell their own names get scholarships to college, and I can't.
She had a good.
I thought you were going to go for the one. Like, I want to show you my. What did she say there? I want to show you my costume or something like that when she was taking her clothes off, and it was just like her long john.
It was her long john. She wanted to see something funny, right? Didn't she say something like that?
I really liked that part.
That was a great part.
After
it was funny because when Michelle and I were watching it, Logan came walking in the door coming back from school, and I usually always pause whatever we're watching when Logan walks in, because we're not going to just be like,
Yeah.
what's up? And he goes away. It's going to be a 10-minute conversation. So I paused it as they are like embracing topless. You didn't see her nipples, but you saw side boob.
You knew it was
You
about
saw-
to happen.
you saw- like it's just on TV. And we're talking. And Logan looks at the TV. He's like, what's going on here?
Why is the chair like right up against the TV?
I actually had it in my desk. Like, what's his name? What was the Italian dude's name in this?
Oh, that was Vinny Salvucci.
Savucci. Yeah.
We'll get to him in a couple.
Oh, I know,
first,
but-
let's get Leah's top four.
Leah's top four. Yeah. Well, Back to the Future. I hope.
yeah.
Yes,
Two?
did make it. Yes, no, just the first one.
How about like Caroline in the City or Carolyn? She had that
No.
TV show for a while.
I don't think you're going to get the others.
Yeah,
so
I
I'm
don't
just gonna
think I
give them
really
to you.
know her that well. Besides,
The Year of the Spectacular Men, The Trouble with the Truth, and Switched at Birth.
never heard of any of the three of those movies.
Yeah, but Back to the Future obviously was their number one there. But playing Pop Georgiev was Charles Siofi. I'm not sure how I said that one, but
So the Serbian American had
he's
an
still
Italian
alive.
father.
He's still alive. He's
Oh, is it?
87.
Wow. Yeah, I'd say he looked old in this.
His top
Yeah.
four. Yeah, his top four: Clute,
Clute. Okay. James
Shaft,
Bond. Wow.
Newsies, and Time After Time.
Is he Canadian?
I don't know.
He's Italian.
Playing
He could be two things.
Tom's or Steph's brother Greg was Gary Graham.
Yeah, he was one of those guys. I'm like, this guy looks familiar, but
He
I
was in
couldn't
Star
tell.
Trek Enterprise.
I never watched that.
This was the brother.
Yeah.
He reminded me of. You guys probably didn't watch the OC, the dad in the OC.
I don't know. Michelle said she kept saying it looked like Pete Gallagher.
Yes, that's who.
Oh, is that
Is that the
OC
eyebrow guy?
Yeah,
Right? He has a big
yeah,
eyebrow.
yeah,
Yeah, I know who that is.
But yeah, Michelle's like, she's like, it's distracting. I keep thinking Pete Gallagher when I see this guy. I'm like, yeah, well, it's not. So get over that.
Now we're going to talk about your boy, Vinny Salvucci.
Wait, did that guy have a top four? Oh, you did the top four for him. Yeah. Sorry. Wait, did you?
Was
I
he
just
o-
gave you Star Trek because the others we wouldn't know.
okay.
Robot Jocks,
Okay, that's fine,
The
yeah.
Jackal,
How
and
about Peter
Prelude to
Gallagher's
Axanar.
top four?
Peter Gallagher's top four.
Michelle wants Peter Gallagher's
The
top
OC.
four.
While you're sleeping.
Paul Carafotes played Vinny Salvucci. I have a little something special for this one. He was in his top four: Mindhunter, Damages, Fight Club, and Mank.
Fight Club.
Yeah, he was in 5 episodes of The Greatest American Hero,
Nice.
Love that show.
and he was in he played the Thug once. Thug in 1 episode, 4 episodes as the character named Joey. Season 4 episode of Different Strokes. Willis is struggling to make friends in his first days of high school, and he agrees to buy marijuana so that he can go to a party with upperclassmen. And he's one of those guys. He's one of them guys.
I want to know what he was in Fight Club.
I'm sorry, the whole thing with the Thug and Joey, Greatest American Hero. He played the same character 4 times, Joey, and the other one he was a Thug. So he played 2 characters
Two
over
different
5 episodes.
characters
Yeah,
on-
I'm sorry, I got it mixed up. I thought that was part of the Different Strokes. He was only in 1 episode of Different Strokes.
Isn't it amazing that Willis is the only one left alive?
Yeah, and he was just on Celebrity Big Brother. Like,
You would think he would have been the
really?
first one to go. He seemed to be the one with like the worst trajectory early on
Yeah.
because he was
And
getting busted during the show.
Didn't Dana Plato die the day after she was on Stern?
She did, and a lot of people blamed him. Like,
Damn.
like because she went on the show and they started taking the callers, and everybody was like,
They were hard on her.
They were
man.
really
Yeah.
hard on her.
Damn.
Yeah. She died the next day.
I mean, he didn't have anything to do with it. She OD'd, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Well, maybe she might have been in a better mood. Chris Penn played Brian Riley. We just had Chris Penn recently in
Rumblefish.
Rumblefish. He passed away young. He died in 2006.
You're like 40,
He
right?
was only 40. Enlarged heart.
Damn.
That's not a good thing. Damn.
They always,
having a bigger heart
they always
is
tell you
better.
they always say have a big heart. You know.
My heart's like Grinch size. It's like 3 times too big or smaller. Whatever the bad version is.
I'll just run through his top 4 real quick. Reservoir Dogs, Shortcuts, True Romance, and You Gotta Cut Loose.
Footloose.
Very good.
When he was
Very
dancing in the
good.
locker room scene, Michelle's like, didn't Kevin Bacon teach him anything in Footloose? I'm like, I think that's a couple of years down
It's
the
coming
road.
up. Yeah. Playing Austin Shadow Williams, Leon Robinson.
Who was that?
He was the guy that said he was
going to West Virginia.
Yeah.
I think he was the wide receiver.
He was talking about his dick in the beginning.
Yeah. He actually said dick. I was like, I didn't know that was a word back in '83 for male genitalia. I was like, they said that back then?
I got his top 4. He was in Cool Runnings, Little Richard, The Temptations, Above the Rim, but he was most recently seen in season 1, episode 5, episode of Swarm.
Oh.
Really?
You just watched that, right?
What was he in Swarm?
Episode 5. That's all I know is
Episode 5. Oh, yes, episode 5.
that was the episode I didn't like.
That was the one where it was like the hard copy kind of thing, or the TMZ kind of thing. Yeah. Interesting.
Playing Sandy Faison's playing Susie Nickerson. That's Coach's wife.
She looked familiar.
She did too. Yeah.
I thought that's the one I said I needed to look up, and I looked her up today. Her top 4 didn't help me. It was Quantum Leap, Anything But Love, Grace Under Fire, and CBS Summer Playhouse. But I saw I thought she played something on 8 is Enough. And what I found was she played on an 8 is Enough TV movie after the series ended. They had a couple TV movies. She played the mom, Abby Bradford, in one of the movies.
She played the mom.
Yeah.
I thought the
Abby
new
Bradford,
mom. Yeah. I just looked up Vuki. What's his name? Scaravucci. His Fight Club guy. Like, it's not any. It's just one of the guys.
Vinny Salvucci was just probably like behind Matt.
He's like in
right?
Project Mayhem. It said the bartender. I'm like, oh shit, was he the bartender that had the whole halo thing on his head because Brad Pitt broke his neck? But it wasn't that guy. Anyway, sorry.
That's all right. Don't let it happen again.
I saw a TikTok of these 2 kids with the things in their skull, and they were lifting up their feet and like spinning, and the only thing attached was the thing in their skulls.
That just does not sound right.
It didn't sound right. It didn't look right at all. I flipped right up.
There's things on TikTok sometimes that give the sensitivity warning, and I'm just like, yeah. And then I'll click on it. And it's like something so vile. I'm like, God damn it, it warned me too. I didn't want to see that guy's blister getting popped or whatever gross shit they're doing.
Playing Bosco was James A. Baffica. Total
what a
dick. Dude. Total dick.
He was the
right?
real villain of the movie.
Yeah, he was the villain. Yeah.
Yep. Because
especially when he was. I thought he was going to pull an accused on Leah there at the bar. I was like, I forgot. I've seen this movie before, and I really forgot plot points in this because very early on, I was like, "Isn't Craig T. Nelson like the bad coach?" But they all seem to really love him and everything like that. It wasn't until obviously halfway through the movie when they lost that game that
when he called him, what did he say? He said, "You quit. You quit on me. You quit on me. I want to hear you cry."
Those are just little just whimpering. Like I want to hear tears.
His top 4 was Dawn of the Dead, All My Children, Silver Bullet, and All the Right Moves.
He's the only guy that all the right moves in his top 4. It seems.
So far, yeah. Mel Winkler, he played the assistant coach, Jess Covington. He passed away in 2020 at 78, undisclosed illness. But
wife smothered him in
his
sleep.
top 4.
That's usually what that is.
His top 4 was interesting because he had a video game in it. He had Doc Hollywood, Devil in a Blue Dress, A Life Less Ordinary, and the video game he had in there, Crash Bandicoot Warped.
Was he the guy that?
I never played. I don't think I played that.
I didn't play that one.
Warped, yeah.
I love Crash Bandicoot. That was one of my favorite games. I was to say, growing up, I was like 30.
I got one more person for the cast, and that was Terry O'Quinn. He just played somebody.
I didn't see him.
He was the recruiter.
Yeah.
In fact, when he popped up, I was like, that guy looks kind of familiar. And Michelle's like, is that Locke? And I'm like, no, he's got too much hair. And then I'm like, oh shit, you know
Locke
what?
with hair.
That is Terry
Like in the
O'Quinn.
beginning of the movie? That
yeah,
recruiter?
maybe like 10 minutes in when they're at his house and he's talking to him.
He's like, right, Pop.
He's the guy that like guaranteed him the spot on the team. He's like,
He said, yeah, you go out there and talk to everybody.
Because Tom Cruise is like, I want a better offer, being a total dick. Like, which I guess if you're like, a top athlete, you'll say, I want the better offer.
But if things,
the way he said it.
If things ended a little differently, which they almost did, he probably would have had all those offers.
Yeah.
And fuck you, Chris Penn, dude. Get the fuck out of Ampipe, dude.
I mean, he can take his pregnant girlfriend with the USC. He's getting a full ride to USC, and he's just like, no, I'll stay here. I'm having a kid. That's where I really
ride. How does she let him stay here?
Well, not only that, there were so many staircases in that town. One,
And it's so funny because he
little blush.
said, I'm pregnant. I took her to Pittsburgh and found out she's pregnant. And then they cut to like the pep rally going on. I'm like, couldn't they do an abortion like right there? And then they cut back and he's like, she won't get an abortion. I would have been like,
You know her.
You should have talked to her.
I had
You
it
should
marked
have
down as
talked to her.
a possible abortion movie we could have used.
You should have used a little more, been like, honey, come on.
But yeah, I'm sorry. There's no way he would not at least go that first year, right? You have to.
You have to.
Yeah, try.
USC, man, Jesus Christ. And then he's just going to stay in
You're going to stay there.
Johnstown, PA, or whatever the hell that was
and
filmed.
get the job at the mill there, right? And then
that they're laying people off every day. Like, you know, everybody's getting laid off. And
I never saw this movie. However,
Shocker.
I saw the scene when they're coming out of the church, standing in the street
after the wedding,
and then hugs and they go to help. Only that part. I've seeing it on YouTube. Someone showed it to me for, I don't know, whatever reason.
That's very odd.
But that scene was going on, I was like, and then it popped in my head. I was like, I've seen this on YouTube. Someone purposely showed me this scene, and I have no idea why they.
maybe
did
they were
that.
showing it to say in the next scene you would see Leah Thompson naked, but you didn't get that scene on YouTube
No,
because it was the next scene. You know, weddings always, you know, there's always banging after a wedding.
oh yeah.
Yeah, Chris Penn, man, bad call, man, bad decisions in this movie overall. Like with the Italian dude, like even early on in that movie, like when they're in the locker room, when they're doing the dance, when all the guys are dancing around, he was just sitting there like morose. He was a morose motherfucker. He was just sitting there not enjoying it. Obviously with the tape and the fumble, and he was crying. Where did the armed robbery come from? Why didn't they show us that? There was no resolution to that. They arrested that dude in the middle of class.
And he fought. He was like fighting it.
And then they broke the window on the door, dragging him out. He was already cuffed, and they still like slammed his head, and you heard the glass break. I was like, why would they wait till he's outside, you know, at home, or you know?
They know they know he would have been easy to get. But he wasn't hiding.
But why didn't they show the armed robbery? Give us a reason why he did the armed robbery, and then show a resolution to it. There was no resolution.
We should have saw with the face covering. We wouldn't. Oh, we're supposed to be surprised who it is.
We know why. I mean, he's Italian.
Think he's mobbed up.
I got some good thing I wanted to read.
You got some good racism in this. I mean,
got something good here. I wanted to read that. Maybe think Tom Cruise. Some more bonus points for Tom Cruise here. He's a good guy, I think, man. In 2018, Leah Thompson stated she initially did not want the part as the script required her to participate in 2 nude scenes. She told IndieWire, the producers wanted me to show my breasts twice in the script. I didn't even audition because I didn't want to take my shirt off, but I got the part and was like, okay. But Tom Cruise persuaded the producers to drop one of the scenes and volunteer to appear. Excuse me, I'm not done.
I'm booing Tom Cruise.
I know, but I'm not done. Let me finish. He volunteered to appear fully nude himself in the other to make her comfortable. In the second, he said, well, if she has to be naked, I'll be naked too. Thompson said, that's pretty badass. I've always been grateful to him for standing up to the producers.
Okay.
Yeah. He saw her boobs and he wanted to see them again.
Yeah.
He was hoping to see them privately, and maybe he did.
I wonder if his erection smacked her in the leg while they were filming that scene.
What'd you think of Vinny Salvucci's erection?
That was ridiculous, man. First of all, I didn't quite understand what was happening there. He had his jeans on. It wasn't like his dick was out. Like that was through the jeans.
I guess he could create a boner with just his mind.
No, there must have been a hole under that desk because it had to go up through the center of the desk to lift the top.
Salvucci was packing.
He must have been. Maybe that's what he used as a gun in his armed robbery.
Well, what did you think about Tom Cruise's way of telling him to stop because he wasn't paying attention?
I think I would have rather gotten busted by Craig T. Nelson than have that thing slammed down on my dick.
Can I leave?
But yeah, his character arc in this was really weird because they never really gave an explanation for why he did armed robbery other than he needed money, but so did everybody in that shithole town. And
now I have some some interesting news for you as well. Tom Cruise and Leah Thompson performed a majority of their own nudity in their love scene. However, body doubles were used for insert shots. The same body doubles were also used earlier in the film for insert shots in the makeout scene in the car. I guess where he had his hand down the pants,
naked then,
and then she had his hand in his pants.
Really?
Well, there's a scene where you can clearly see her head when she's topless, and this is not, they didn't CGI anything.
We see her breast.
That picture you sent.
We see her breast, but we see in the other part, in the next shot, we might just see from the side. That's somebody else.
Oh, okay.
That's the insert shot, I guess, or whatever. I don't know if that's an insert shot because I didn't go to USC.
Insert shot.
I didn't get the free
Film
ride,
school.
Chris Penn. I'm talking to you, Chris Penn.
And by the way, Tom Cruise's engineering designs there were like
dome.
They were like basic like third grade drawings.
I was like, oh, is that a crane?
Is this a? It's a plane. It's a inclined plane. Like, that's very engineering.
Whatever one she commented on, it was off screen.
Oh, was it really?
The dome.
It was the dome, right? Yeah, he said that's my dome, and it's off screen. And she's like, oh, I like it.
It was just a half a circle. It was just an arc. And there's my dome. Oh, that's very like. And where has that been in the world of engineering over the last 40 years? Is that used a lot? Is the dome used a lot in engineering?
Syracuse.
What about it?
Syracuse has a big dome.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of places have big domes, but
Notre Dame.
Is that engineering? I guess it is, right?
They have to pump air into it because when the doors open, it like blows air out.
Okay.
Tom had a minor concussion from filming.
Playing the footballs.
There were a couple helmet to helmet hits in this that were like encouraged. Like the one guy went helmet to helmet, and the coach said, "Nice hit," as he smacked him right with the crown of his helmet right into the other guy's crown of his helmet, which now would be like a 15-yard penalty, 5-game suspension.
There is no possible way the field for that game could get that bad that fast. Impossible.
From the rain.
Unless they practiced on it during the week too, and it was just
Absolutely
all chewed up.
There's no way. They should have made it a different way.
I thought
everyone was taking.
It should have been raining the whole game, and it should have been raining for days in a row.
I thought it was really cool that not cool, but when they go to the first practice, the one where I guess when Tom Cruise gets yelled at for playing the man and not the ball kind of thing.
Yes, yeah.
I was like, did these guys? Like they gave them uniforms, like the wardrobe gave them uniforms, and it's just like just roll around in the ground for like 2 days because the uniforms were nicely gross. And then the next practice, when it was nice out and the ground was not wet and stuff like that, you could tell they were wearing the same things and they just weren't cleaned that well because you're never getting those things white again. And it was
the uniforms were lent to them from local high schools.
Oh, were they really?
Yeah.
So they might have been just used anyway. But yeah, I like the fact that like the next practice they showed them, and those were used ass jerseys that those guys had on. That was fun. The football in this was good. That game, actually, I was like, I was kind of like excited. I was like, I'm pretty sure they lose this game, but like, and it's so funny because I said to Michelle, I'm like, right now you're up by 4 or 3 with 12 seconds left.
Take a safety.
I'm like, take a safety. Just run around the end zone, run out of the back of the end zone.
And then you get the punt,
and you give them no time to do anything. And that was the first thing when they went to the bar. He's like, "Why didn't you just take a safety?" I'm like, "Yeah."
And he punched him.
Well, I don't. Was it that guy that said, "Why didn't he take the safety?" The Bonzo guy. What was his name? The
Bochco.
Bochco. Yeah.
No, it was the other guy he punched. He didn't punch Baco.
Oh, right. The one,
dad, the dad punched
right.
The guy.
The dad punched him. Right. Yeah. Right in the nose. And the guy just laid out. He just laid out in the bar.
Did you see how happy Greg was?
He said, "God damn!" Like after his dad left,
and nobody moved. Everybody all around just sat.
That was the 7th fight of the night, and that happens every Saturday night or Friday night. I guess was a football night.
I saw something here.
By the way, they said that there were 100,000 people in this, or 10,000 people in the stands, and they only gave us 500 tickets. I was like, that stadium looked like it held about 1,000. Yeah. There was no 10,000 people. I'm like, this is not Texas. Like, there are no stadiums in any high school in Pennsylvania that hold 10,000 people.
Rural Pennsylvania.
It's like 10,000 people. Does anybody have any idea how many 10,000 people is? That's half a hockey arena. Right. Like, that is not at a high school football game in that gross weather. I just thought it was so funny when he said 10,000 people are out there. I was like, I don't think so.
He wasn't a good counter.
But they got 500 tickets. They probably got half the tickets. They probably got half.
1,000
that's
people.
usually how those things work. It doesn't.
I got the 500 ticket thing.
Hey, let's hear that.
You know why they only gave us 500 tickets to this game? We're the Dagos, we're the Polacks, we're the all right. That's what you are. That's what I am. And that's what we are together, and that's how we're going to win this game. We're going to win it together.
That didn't feel inspiring.
I see. I was like kind of, obviously he says the N word there, and he's saying
He also says the P word and the D word.
Someone else says the P word.
What's the matter, Steph? You getting tired of Polak pussy?
I would have never gotten tired of that Polak pussy. No way.
No.
I just thought it was like, I'm telling you, like halfway through this movie, I was like, I really thought Craig T. Nelson was the bad guy. And even though he said that there, like he didn't say it.
He grouped himself in as one of them.
In 1983, you're not using that word in a disparaging way like you would use it now. You can't say it now. But at that time, the way he was using it was like kind of like we're all together here, John Lennon used it in the song, same way. No, but that's why I was kind of confused with Craig T. Nelson's turn there after the fact. Like
that he got all angry.
Yeah, and he kicked Tom Cruise off the team and made fun of the other dude for crying. And
he was angry as a typing teacher too.
I'll tell you, I will go to my death saying one of the best classes I ever took in school.
I was going to ask you guys if he took typing.
I took typing,
typing.
And it made me a good typist. I just took it as my senior year. I needed a credit. I
know people look at me now at work and they're like, "Oh, you're a good typer." I was like, "You're damn right, I am."
Because I see people my age that didn't take typing, and they're hunting and pecking.
Oh, it's
and
horrible.
And
yeah, I didn't learn anything.
You didn't. Are you still a hunter and pecker?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That's ridiculous.
I hunt for pecker all the time.
Facts, as the kids say these days. Yeah, I think I was saying at one point I saw this movie when I was younger, and
I saw it once when I was younger as well.
I really I did not know the plot of this. I knew that I was going to see Leah Thompson naked, and that was really the only thing that I remembered. And I thought there was a suicide in there. I thought Vinny was going to kill himself. I was like, oh, this dude's definitely hanging. They're going to find him in the locker room hanging, just like Andrew McCarthy last week. They're going to just find him hanging. I was like, this dude, there's no way this guy doesn't live. And Michelle's like, I don't remember anybody dying in this. I'm like, that guy's dying. Then he just became an armed robber, which we didn't see, and arrested. And I guess,
I mean, do you think they cut that scene? Maybe?
I don't know. It seems, why did they even put it in there? It added nothing to the movie if there was nothing else than that.
Yeah, right. I mean,
they didn't.
Why was Leah Thompson crying when they were pulling him out?
Pull him out of the class?
Yeah.
Well, I guess because he's a friend. And
yeah.
I don't know.
Like seeing it was right in front of her.
I did think that was ridiculous that the cops would have done that in class like that. At least wait for class to end.
Salvucci.
And they were old
Vooch.
cops too.
Yeah. They were like right at Central Casting in the 80s. Like, get some old, I'm sure.
I mean, a big mustache, a little heavy set.
I was going to say, he's Bookman from Seinfeld right there. He just looked like that. So at the beginning of this movie, when he's walking to school and he gets picked up by the car with everybody in it.
Yeah.
Like they drove for miles after that. Like
I can drive for
there's
miles.
no bus that takes these kids to school because he was hiking to school. I was like, I'm not going to school if I have to go that far. I just thought it was weird that they showed that.
That was interesting. Yeah.
And now there's not much call for a 5'10" white cornerback in the NFL.
5'10".
I know I could do the
5'10".
job in college, though.
Tom Cruise is 5'10".
Well, let me tell you something. Let's say if he was 5'10", Tom Cruise does make a great statement there because 5'10" does work in college for his position.
And actually, cornerback, they're going to be 5'10" cornerbacks. There's a lot of short
Nowadays,
cornerbacks.
you got some short cornerbacks.
Yeah, there's a lot of
in
short
NFL
cornerbacks
too,
in the
yeah.
NFL.
He's 5'10" and we're all 7 foot.
So obviously, Tom Cruise is lying about his. He always plays taller. He and Leah Thompson are the exact same height. They're both 5'4", and there was a scene where he has his arm around her and he's towering over her. I was like, so is he wearing like blocks on his feet, or is he standing on a box?
He's wearing drywall stilts,
or is she standing in a ditch?
Does that make the football scenes tougher to film too? Then
I think when things are happening that fast, you just can't.
I guess they
tell
were a lot
size.
closer proximity.
You can't tell size, but when you have two people standing next to each other and they're the same height, and they're obviously not. When you see them standing next to each other, there's some fuckery going on there. And it's funny. I mean, Tom Cruise is not the only one that does that. Like, Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans were eye to eye in a lot of Marvel scenes. And I think Chris Evans is about 1.5 feet taller than Robert Downey Jr.
Tom Cruise probably was like, showed Leah Thompson a bunch of door phone golf videos and like, you need to do that.
I was glad that at the end we got a Tom Cruise running scene. Like, he's infamous for always running in his movies. And when he ran away from the coach after he apologized at the diner and he started to run and he stopped, I'm like, I thought we were going to get a Tom Cruise running scene. And then he turns around, says "fuck you" or whatever, and then takes off. And he does his Tom Cruise.
You know what, Coach? What gives you the right?
What gives you the right?
This scholarship here is no scholarship here.
This movie was rated R, right? This was
Yes.
this is a PG-13 movie. Like 3 years later, like this is
without
hardly.
the breasts.
You can have a couple titties, and
I don't think you're allowed to have.
Splash had
I don't think you
nudity.
can have breasts in
Yeah,
any PG-13 movies
Splash
anymore.
had nudity
anymore. I
and-
think.
anymore, but this is like of the time.
I mean, because Airplane's PG.
Yeah, right.
And
Everyone's PG.
breasts in that.
That's true. Who was that woman from? What movie was that from?
Oh yeah, she was just in
Kitten
something.
Natavidad.
Yes.
What-
From
what?
Oh, it's that crappy movie with the Eating Raoul.
Eating Raoul.
well, she was in another
Good
one
job,
too.
man.
She was the prostitute that the three boys went to.
Oh, in Last American Virgin.
Yes.
Nice.
We should bring that movie back. That was a fun watch.
Last
man.
American Virgin?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
had
that was
fun
good.
with that.
That was, of all the movies we watched, that was the biggest surprise. That was such a good movie.
I had a lot of fun with that one.
Yeah.
Thinking about that soundtrack. Wait, back to this movie. This movie had a soundtrack.
I was gonna say
too,
this didn't
it?
have as good a soundtrack, but
Yeah, did you know that it was Lucille Ball's production company that put this movie on? It's a Lucille Ball production gets on-screen credit. Her involvement in the production was minimized in publicity out of concerns that the film's content would tarnish her public image.
interesting. Like, I know she got like Desilu Productions. I know they did Star Trek and stuff like that, but that's very interesting. I can't imagine why she would think this would ruin her image. I mean, there's nothing in this movie that's like objectionable, I wouldn't think, right?
Certainly not Leah Thompson's boobs.
I'm saying, like, it's not like someone got murdered or committed suicide or
Armed
there was
robbery.
rape or anything like that. Armed robbery. There wasn't even
Fingered in a car.
yeah, that was almost borderline. Like, she said no a lot. She said no,
But
like
she was
15
also
times.
she was blue ball, and her hand was in his pants.
Well,
too.
he put it there.
True.
He put it there.
My favorite quote. You ready for it? It was between Steph and Brian. Steph's like, "Listen up, ladies. Brian Riley's going to USC, motherfuckers." And then Brian goes, "All I have to do is maintain my fantastic 2.0 grade
was a
point
great
average,
line.
and everything is cool."
Fantastic 2.0. And what was Tom Cruise? He was a straight B student or something like that.
Yeah.
I like how these guys were like, these were minor accomplishments and they were proud of them. I mean, obviously the 2.0, he was being sarcastic, but
One of my Korean shows, a girl had to, in order to go, she fenced, and in order to go to college, she says, I got to get an 80 on the CSATs. And one of her friends was like, out of 400. And she was like, yeah, I know I'm going to have to study.
That's good. Okay.
I'm still not watching those shows.
I'm not going to.
My favorite line in there was when the pass interference call was called on Tom Cruise at the end of the football play there, and which was pass interference. He had the guy wrapped up before the ball got there. It was definitely pass interference. He gets up and he goes, "You got a kid on Walnut Heights?" I was like, I love that line because I was that guy as a parent, like yelling at, like, they called a foul on my son, and I'm like, which kid's yours, man? Which kid's yours? Yelling at the ref. I'm like, your kid number 7? I did that so many times. Or if they were older guys, I'm like, your grandson's out there, right? And, just being a complete dick to these guys that are getting paid like peanuts just because they like to ref basketball games. And they're dealing with this fucking asshole yelling at them. But that was one of my go-to lines all the time. Like, which one's your kid, man?
That's funny.
So when Tom Cruise popped up and said that, he's like, you got a kid on Walnut Heights? I was like, nice.
That's a quote I couldn't find. That's when it was
Oh
during
yeah,
the game.
Yeah, that was great, man. I laughed when he
Fun
said
quote,
that.
right?
Yeah.
I laughed just because it was like that was a little piece of me right there.
Because also, like, how many times do you do that? Like, guys, you're watching the Phillies in the World Series, and everybody's against the Phillies because you're watching it. You know what I mean? It's just that's how it always feels.
Well, it's funny that you should say that because I was talking at work about the Knicks game the other day. Not that I want to get down this rabbit hole, but the guy doing the color commentary for the Knicks Cavaliers, I mean, like, he was sucking the Cavaliers' ass the entire game. I'm like, the guy was driving me insane. And I texted Logan and his buddy. They were watching the game somewhere else, and they agreed with me. And so when I came into work, I was talking to Charlie about the game, and I was complaining about that. And I brought up the fact that, like, I think Joe Buck, football announcer, was on Howard one time, and he was talking about how he did
Midnight
like
Cowboy.
What's that?
Joe Buck, Midnight Cowboy.
Wrong Joe Buck. He was talking. He did like a Eagles Cowboys game or something like that, and afterwards he got like 10,000 death threats from Eagle fans, like, fuck you, man, you're such an obvious Cowboy fan. And then he got 10,000 death threats from Cowboy fans saying, fuck you, man, you're such an obvious Eagle fan and stuff like that. So it's what you hear. You hear it the way,
of course,
you think you're going to
whatever
hear
you're
it.
rooting
So,
for,
yeah.
everybody's against you.
But it was just so funny how that came up just the other day. And then, I don't know. I love that though. These announcers
the opening scene was 5 minutes of him of his father, the father and the brother driving home from work.
That was, I
wanted to
guess
show
they
you
did
the
the
town.
overnight shift of,
Yeah.
I didn't know factories worked like that. I mean, my factory experience is limited, but I would have thought they would have closed down. And by the way, the last scene where they're working at the factory, is that how factories work, with sparks flying fucking everywhere and guys wearing just basic goggles and a hard hat? I'm like, I would need like an entire coating.
That's another thing I was
around
expecting, somebody to lose an arm.
Oh my God, that looks.
Oh, yeah.
It almost looked like a choreographed scene from a play, and they were going to start dancing or something like that, because there were three guys way up high, and there were sparks just flying out from there, and then there were two guys working over here, and the sparks are flying that way. I was like, what are they making?
I was trying to figure out where the hell those
I
sparks
was like, this
were. What are they
cannot be-
doing that there's that many
This is
sparks?
not how steel is made. I don't think. I don't think that's how it does. Because how is every guy that's ever made steel not like blind? I mean, they weren't wearing like any kind of welding protective glass. They were just wearing. I don't want to get a spark in my eyeglasses,
Yeah.
but oh my God, that was nuts. I was like, this can't possibly be how it's done.
Yeah.
I hope not, because it shouldn't be.
I have notes for the end of the movie after Tom Cruise yelled at him about, like, who are you to do that? Because nowadays it would have been like, I'm the coach. I make that decision. And then when coach came up and, said, I want you to be on the team, and everybody, that seemed like such a sitcom.
And you know what? It felt like almost like a fist pump stop, kind of like, I feel good now. It felt totally like
But
that.
he was kind of like fishing for it there at the end too, because he was like, "You're gonna do it right this time, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna do it right next time.
You're gonna go for the ball, not the man, right?" Yeah. I don't know what Craig Nelson had done that deserved him getting a coaching job at, what was it, Cali?
Yes, he lost the big game.
Yeah,
At some shitty little school in
and he's like the
Pennsylvania.
smallest school ever too.
And now you're getting
There's
a
no
college
way
job?
all those guys would be getting Division I school scholarships from the school. They only had 40 players on their
One
team.
kid was going to West Virginia. One kid was going to
That was,
USC. I'm like, these guys
yeah.
are going to big time schools. That was crazy.
And he was getting recruited by Syracuse.
And he had a big Penn State poster in his room. Not that he was going there, but like he
Picked Syracuse. That's where he's from.
Tom Cruise is from Syracuse?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't even know that. He's like one of those guys, like, I just feel he was like hatched in Hollywood. Oh shit, I had something else.
I want to
really
read.
wanted-
You want me to read Roger Ebert and all that stuff?
Yeah. I got a couple more things I just want to bring up. The silly things from the movie that I like.
Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times, he gave it 3 out of 4 and wrote, "Two people finally tell each other the truth. This is, of course, an astonishing breakthrough in movies about teenagers, and all the right moves deserved it."
Who were the two people that told him the truth? I'm trying to figure out who it was.
Yeah.
Was it coach and player? Were they at the end there? Where they were,
You could even take Lisa in there too.
or that? Yeah.
Local reviewer Ed Blank of the Pittsburgh Press saw it as flawed, but captured the look of Johnstown. Mary Lynn Uruccio of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette rated it as elementary but uplifting.
It's supposed to be like Johnstown.
Oh, I think they
Pennsylvania.
filmed it in Johnstown. Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah,
That's where it was filmed. Yeah.
definitely had that look.
Wasn't there a flood there?
All right, go to your things, and then we'll get to
And
the scores.
also the team from Slapshot, the Paul Newman team from Slapshot, the Chiefs. That it's in Johnstown. They don't call them Johns. They call them something else.
I met
can't remember what it is. The Hanson brothers.
yeah.
I just said I love the 80s sports montage. Like the whole game was done in like 3 minutes. I was like, I love this. It's
This
got
was
the
good
music.
footage. I thought this game had really good footage.
I was singing the hot dog song the whole time because I just seen South Park recently. I was saying, take it to the limits, limits.
Or what's the other one that they always use for that? Live to Win, I think.
Yeah. And the town drunks doing the vandalism. Like, how important did they have fucking money on this game that those assholes went and vandalized the coaches? I mean, like, if you saw that today, those guys are going away for 10 years. Like that was insane.
Yeah.
Like they're just like casually gonna like go spray paint the guy's house, fucking flatten his tires.
I don't understand how you're
like,
getting away with that.
Oh,
What
my
was
God.
the dead animal? Was that a dead chicken?
I think it was a chicken, yeah.
Yeah.
But man, that was really uncalled for. He didn't fumble the ball. They should have done that to the Vucci.
He should have had. They should have held on to the ball though. That was the only thing. He should
Terrible handoff though. But it
Yeah.
was raining. You know, what are you gonna do?
That's why you shouldn't have gave a handoff.
Should have taken an A. I mean, the Giants proved that in 1978. Oh my God, that fumble.
His voice is back. And it's time to change.
You know, this takes place in Pennsylvania during football season. At no point, like there was no breath coming out of people. They must have filmed this in the summer or something like that. The one scene where I saw Tom Cruise's breath was with the coach outside the diner, and that's why I'm like, oh, it finally looks cold out because Tom Cruise is breathing. But I was kind of surprised. Like, never once did you see people see their breath.
Yeah,
And,
not even during Christmas time.
yeah, that's why I was kind of like,
The movie was filmed in the spring, not fall.
There it
Notice
is.
there are 0 leaves on the trees.
wait, there are 0 leaves on the trees?
Yeah.
Oh, they did before, I guess, the leaves came out or something
Yeah.
like that, which would still be cold in Pennsylvania. I'm surprised we didn't see people's breath.
It must have been a warm spring.
And my last note and my second favorite line in the movie is, where are you going on your honeymoon? To Pittsburgh, Flyers Penguins game. I was like, nice. Flyers Penguins
Yeah,
game.
no
for their
more USC,
honeymoon.
brah.
I just thought that was great that they're going to a hockey game for their honeymoon. And then the rest of their non-existent life as they live in dead end town factory
She's
job.
going to become a waitress.
Yeah, and he's going to become a factory worker.
When they
a
were
place
at the
that's laying people off.
When they were at the party, the girl that's pregnant, I forget what her name was, Trace? Yeah, Trace.
Tracy.
How many times did she say people touch their stomach?
like
17?
30? I'm going to say 30.
30, and what'd you say?
17.
18 times.
Damn.
Yeah.
I was expecting her to be drinking a beer too. That she was not doing. I was like, yeah, in 83, no one
A
cared.
cigarette and a beer.
And
Yeah,
I didn't see a lot of
it was
smoking in this.
early.
The only time I saw smoking was when they were
Did the dad have a cigarette?
maybe, but there was a scene where they were huddled up, all the guys. It wasn't like I don't remember where it was now, but they were smoking there. And I was like, oh, finally a cigarette. That's weird for the 80s. Like everybody smoked in the 80s.
Yeah.
Everybody. Children were given cigarettes at birth.
Top men.
Top men.
I just saw that episode the other day. You think we should hit those scores now or what?
We can hit the scores.
Who's
Michelle,
going to go first?
Michelle gave this a 68.
68.
She said she liked this movie better than Class. A lot better than Class, but it didn't have shirtless Rob Lowe, so she can't give it so much a better score. I mean, I think Class got 10 extra points because of shirtless Rob Lowe, and this gets 3 more points than that with just a shirtless Tom Cruise.
Not bad.
So that's 68 from Michelle.
Um,
And
Want me
my
to go?
score is right below
Oh,
it.
all right.
I can go because it's right there. It's 75. I like this movie. I don't know if I'll ever watch this again. It wasn't fun. Like there was no comedy in this at all. I was.
there was a couple parts I thought where Tom Cruise like went for a joke, like smart aleck.
They were like
stuff,
being silly in the
yeah.
locker room and they're all dancing and he's like not too bad for a
Even the
white
coach
guy
did
or
a little
something
dance,
like
right?
that.
Yeah.
But no, but I still liked it. I thought this was a good movie at what it was trying to do. A teen angsty drama kind of.
Last week I gave Class a 62. I'm giving this one a 65. I liked it a little more, and 3% for Leah because Leah was awesome. Not just her breasts. I mean, she was really a great actress in this. But like you said, the same thing. I don't need to see this again. But if it did come on and I happen to get a chance to watch it, I don't have a problem sitting there watching it.
This got 3 more points because of her 3 nipples.
It's not Mallrats.
Or Total Recall.
But yeah, I give it a 65.
So I'm going to say this was my least favorite movie of the year.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm going to give it a 45.
Interesting.
44 of those points are for Leah Thompson's nipples.
Really?
Yeah, but I
Wait, let's hear why. Why do you not like
I despise
this
sports movies.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Because you don't understand them. They're confusing.
Yeah, like
You can understand Korean dramas in a language you don't speak, but sports confound
He
you.
knows all about their like natural, like the things they do, their histories and.
you know, the level of everything in the Korean case is like here, so it's really hard to measure up to that.
You are an idiot, man.
It's really shitty. And this is why I want the 100% score. It's good. I don't have a problem with you giving 45 this time, but I think that's absolutely a ridiculous reason to not like this movie, because you could look at the acting, you look past it. It wasn't just all football. There are some movies.
No,
where,
I just
there are
didn't-
some movies where it is.
I
all
just didn't enjoy.
You watch Ted Lasso, and that's got soccer in it and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I don't mind that, but the soccer's not all the time.
it's not.
He'd
It's
sit
not
there-
that much football.
He'd sit there. Hoosiers hated it.
Oh my god, Hoosiers is a great movie.
I never saw her.
Yeah, you'd never see that.
Yeah,
I mean,
you would hate
it's
it.
going to take us a while.
Wait,
to
where do we
to
get that? 85? Oh, is that late?
I think so. I remember seeing that in the theater with my dad. And
Damn, I thought it was
in
85.
Florida when I saw
That's
that.
weird. All right. So that's everybody's score. I got to give you critics, right? Critics give it a 63 and audience give it a 39.
Wow, so low.
I thought that was really low too.
Hoosiers is 86.
So I actually
right.
gave it higher than the audience score.
yeah, I'm kind of shocked that that's such a
I
low
want to go to
score.
39.
Oh, too late.
It's written down. Jason writes them down. It's in pen. It's an indelible pen. Yeah. This came out in October, so it doesn't matter. All the right moves, right? October? I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
I'm
This,
okay.
this also had Christmas overtones to
I
it.
think we're not going to talk about Christmas too much in Trading Places, are we?
No.
I'll probably be on a cruise. December anyway.
Oh my god.
Can we have to figure out how to record while he's away, because we're not
listen,
missing a month.
we're not
We are
gonna let
not missing a. I am not missing a month.
We're not going to just let him say, "Oh, by the way, tomorrow
I'm
gone
telling
for a
you
month
ahead
and a
of
half."
time. I've had that cruise booked for a year.
First of all, how long is your cruise?
It'll be a week.
But he
How
has
long?
to.
How long are you going to be gone?
Probably 2.5 weeks.
Get the fuck out of here, dude.
That is insane.
Why is that insane? That's a normal vacation.
In America in 2023,
It's not.
I mean, I've never heard of anybody taking an 18-day vacation from a job ever. And you got to there's.
I do it all the time.
I know.
You're the
Obviously.
only one. That's what he's trying to say. You're
I mean,
the
your
only
wife
one.
goes on these vacations with you. She doesn't have that kind of time.
I
She has to
did-
work from home half. She has to
I
work
did
from
two
vacation.
18-day vacations in 2022.
That is nuts, man. That is no one. I mean, are you a baseball player? Do you get like the winters off or something like that?
No COVID, I was able to build up a whole bunch of days.
Wow, man, you're lucky.
You know who else is lucky? Anybody who goes on Spreaker, Spotify, anywhere else we got our podcast. Those people are lucky. They can give us a rate, review, subscribe, anything. I don't know.
There we go.
Damn, dude.
I had to switch banks.
I know, but how fucking long? Jesus Christ. I couldn't. I ran out of things to say. You know what I mean?
Touch the buttons.
Well,
The
you,
Jazoo
you
on.
never have to worry about the music because
The Jazoo
I
on
put that in
Instagram,
after the fact.
Jazoo74 on Twitter. Exciting a new podcast everywhere else. I'm Jason. This has been the Exciting a New podcast.
I don't even know what's going on anymore. AE Gonzo 1 on something. AE Gonzo 1970 on Instagram. I'm Andy.
and I'm Brian, Papa Bad Kitty.
Bam, 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 bam.